story begins on the first day of school with one eager student and one simple rule. No peanuts, said Eppie. She knew it by heart, and she knew that to break it wouldn't be very smart. One whiff of peanut and her nostrils would twitch, her eyes filled with water, and her ears start to itch. To make matters worse, her trunk would balloon, and the chances that filled poor Eppie with gloom. Of course, there were things beyond getting sick, like the other kids laughing or thinking, it's a trick. Or perhaps they'd be able to see at first glance that Eppie was different and not give her a chance. So while her teacher'd been told and the school nurse altered, Eppie still feared a crisis could not be averted. Thank goodness her father saw something was wrong. He knelt close and whispered, "You're brave and you're strong." Hugging her tight, he said, "You make me so proud." He kissed Eppie's forehead, then left with the crowd. Squaring her shoulders, Eppie held her head high and bravely stepped forward because big girls don't cry. All that she needed was one friendly face, then maybe, just maybe, things would fall into place. Setting her course with no time to dally, she looked for her seat. That's when she saw Allie. "Oh no," panicked Eppie, the moment of truth, but Allie just grinned, showing each snaggled tooth. "I found you a seat. It's right here next to mine." He sounded so hopeful that she could not decline. Maybe Allie didn't notice all the eyes turning to stare, but one thing was for certain, Eppie made her first friend right there. Allie even asked her for help stacking blocks. They built quite a city filled with towers and docks. And when an alphabet puzzle gave them cause to worry, Pearl stepped in to help, and it was solved in a hurry. Soon they were inseparable, Eppie, Allie, and Pearl, and the rest of that morning passed by in a whirl. Come lunchtime, the trio were bound both fast and true. They stuck to one another as if bonded with glue. But just as the playmates found a great spot to eat, Eppie was pointed to a lone, distant seat. The teacher told Allie, "You have PB&J. That's trouble for Eppie. She must stay far away." And Pearl's bag of peanuts only makes matters worse. One touch could send Eppie right straight to the nurse. Allie stared at Eppie, and Pearl did the same. Eppie started stammering, desperate to explain. And she said, "I'm allergic, and peanuts make me ill." And with that, her perfect day took a turn downhill. An elephant, allergic to peanuts? This must be a prank. Allie busted out laughing, and Eppie's heart sank. Pearl didn't say a word. She sat there looking scared. While this was Eppie's gravest fear, she wasn't quite prepared. Miserable, she wandered off to eat her lunch alone and listen to her buddies from the distant, nut-free zone. Even after lunch had finished, things weren't quite the same. Eppie felt all on her own, her allergy to blame. She couldn't face her playmates. She could barely even speak. The fact that they knew her secret left her feeling small and weak. When school was finally over, she didn't say goodbye. She sidled home, bereft, alone, and tried hard not to cry. All throughout the evening, her thoughts were filled with dread. They followed her through dinner, her bath time, and straight to bed. She started the next school day still feeling lost and all alone. How would she make it through the day with no friends to call her own? So Eppie didn't look for Allie when she arrived in class. She deftly dodged both him and Pearl and wished the day would pass. She hid from them at recess, but peeked as they played ball, and wondered if her former friends missed her much at all. As the time for lunch grew nearer, she began to fear the worst. Alone again at lunchtime, Eppie thought her heart would burst. She imagined Pearl and Allie sharing loads of lunchtime fun, while she sat in the nut-free zone, alone and having none. But when she reached her table, the sight that met her eye made tears of happiness well up. Yes, big girls sometimes cry. Because they're sat side by side, their smiles of joy full blown set Eppie's two best buddies in the distant nut-free zone. "Our parents made us tuna," said Pearl with a grin. "And sorry for laughing," added Allie. "It won't happen again." As Eppie stood between them, they explained how she'd been missed. They swore they'd make it up to her. and why she shouldn't resist. And when can we eat our lunch each day beside this nut-free sign? Allie and Pearl looked so hopeful that Eppie could not define. From then on, they were inseparable. Just Eppie, Allie, and Pearl. Not a peanut to come between them, and not one care in the world.